By the way, Ken, I believe his name is Hemby, number 4.
Henby.
Yeah. 1967, they said he took his IU graduate daughter to the Peach Bowl. Said it was awesome. About 70,000 fans. 65 of the 70,000 fans in attendance were IU.
Oh, yeah.
Anything to get out of that cold weather.
Yeah, that kid is good. They're all good. I don't know of a weakness on that team, man.
No. They're just, well, when you, Matt and I were talking about the other day, when you can pay.
Yep.
Everybody wants to play. And so they're willing to go other places. And now that you've evened the field, the SEC doesn't look the beast that it once was.
Yep. It is. It's professional football.
That's what it is.
They're just kids.
Yeah. And you can now tell a quarterback, well, we think you should do another year, and he doesn't have to worry about, paying for stuff.
Right.
Because he can stick around and make more money probably.
Yeah.
And then he can come on our show and we'll talk about the salary cap. I was talking about the salary cap earlier today with Bell in football. I said,
football.
I keep telling Bell, don't look at if it's $100 million, all you have to know is guaranteed money. Because it may be $100 million, but you only get $40 million of that guaranteed. And the rest of it, not guaranteed at all. So they can cut you the next day. Bell was surprised about the workout bonuses.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that before.
Yeah, you show up and work out with them. That's mostly
another $250,000.
That's mostly for veterans. They don't want to do the work in the off season. I don't blame them for that. I'd be exhausted too, right? Getting your body beat up like that. Good God.
I wonder how many gassers and bleachers Aaron Rodgers is running at practice.
None. He used to hate that so much. Talking about preseason. That's why they make the rookies report, and way early. Those guys don't want to be there.
If somebody like Kelsey showing up for it, that's kind of a leadership thing too.
Yeah, kind of. It is. It shows that everybody's here. We're all on the same page. I don't think he's going to retire. I don't think he wants to go out like that. But when you pay your basically you pay 3 guys all of the money you have, you're just stuck with scrubs. And that's what happens. Go look at all the guys outside of Stafford and maybe Aaron Rodgers tonight. A lot of the rest of the guys out there are first and second year players, third year players, or on smaller contracts. The greatest, they always talk about the best Patriot there ever was Gisele Bündchen, because she was able to make enough money that Tom could spread the wealth around. He didn't need it all. That's a good way to get that too, by the way. We're all looking for a little bit of that. What I'm telling you guys right now. Did you guys hear about that Austin P professor? Remember that Austin P professor got fired? He got fired for saying something about Charlie Kirk.
Oh,
yeah.
I knew one did.
Yeah. He's the one that Dr. Darren Michael. He got reinstated and he got $500,000 to cover the cost of therapy, and they acknowledged they violated his due process rights. So, and they had to apologize to him. So, what did he say? I can't remember what he said. There's so many people that said insane things. So many people that said stuff that was...
there was so much of it, and it all centered around, he deserved it.
Yeah, he deserved it. And it was, you're just like, okay, what did you say that was horrific? Because there was too much insanity. It's like there's people out there that are running around talking about this lady. She's a terrorist. She's not a terrorist. She was very bright. She put herself in a bad situation that she should never have been in. But
she was riding around with a woman who was really into inflaming the situation.
Yeah. But, she wasn't a terrorist. She wasn't a terrorist. But
you don't know. She might have had a bomb in her shoe.
With all the stuffies inside of the car. And the amount of crap that I still saw this weekend that was being sent to me from people going, see? I'm like, yeah, what? She didn't drive 6 hours there. Yes, she did. No, she didn't. She wasn't a terrorist. It's just, and then they raised money, and then they started a GoFundMe for the guy who shot her, and you're like, what are we doing? Right? I mean, that's why you can't have nice things. This is why. And then we can't have a conversation about this. Because there should have been a conversation, an opportunity to have a real conversation about what's happening. And right now, and I've said this over and over again, I'll say it again. Some of you out there are diehard Trump supporters, yeah, this is what I voted for. Maybe not that. I would hope it's not that. But go look at the numbers have crashed with immigration. Why? Because they wanted strong border and to sort out the mess. They didn't want everybody thrown out. They didn't. They didn't want everybody, somebody who's been here 20 years, raised a family, tossed out of here. They weren't looking for that. Some were, but not everybody. A vast majority. And you can sit here and say, well, that's what I voted for. Well, here's the deal. The average independent, even some of the Republicans, like, I don't want any part of this. And the numbers are bearing that out. The numbers have crashed for support of the way that things are being handled. And you have to think of it not in how I want it. Think about it in how do you get across the line in the midterms? Because this is going to be something that is going to be out there everywhere. And you want to win the midterms, you better figure out how you rephrase this and how you go about doing it. I'm not saying that the offers, I said the other day, two can be right. She didn't deserve to get shot. She didn't try to run him over. I don't think for a second she tried to run him over. I think she tried to get out of the way. I think she was in a stupid position, but I don't think she tried to run him over. Because if you're really gonna do that with your own, if you're thinking to yourself, I'm just gonna go out and run a bunch of people over, you're gonna go like they did this weekend in the Iran chaos in downtown Los Angeles with a U-Haul truck. But the officer didn't know that. So he acted as he thought he should. And what do we have? We have two sides that are far left and far right screaming things that don't move it forward when having a conversation about immigration that we need to have. Because remember, with Trump, nothing has been codified. Not a thing. These numbers that are out there that you're seeing, guess what happens if they lose the House? Then they lose. J.D. Vance or whoever runs doesn't win, and nothing's codified. Everything goes back to the way it was? I hope not. But we've got to figure out how we have a real conversation about people who add value to our country and get rid of the people who are truly bad. But this was just another way for everybody to go and rage bait each other. And that was wrong. Just like with the Charlie Kirk thing. People took that as an opportunity, on the left in particular, to rage bait and to say things that are ridiculous and inflame people and their attitudes, which was asinine and stupid. And then knee-jerk reaction by colleges and by businesses are costing them money because they're having to be, a tenured professor. You had to put him back in, and you had to pay him $500,000, which is nuts. So 2 days after the killing, Marsha Blackburn, Republican senator from great state of Tennessee, posted a screenshot indicating Michael on the 10th of September had posted a headline of 2023 news article, Charlie Kirk says gun deaths, unfortunately, worth it to keep Second Amendment. And, okay. And then she wrote, what do you say, Austin P? And then tagged the university account, and then away it went. Now, that's cost him $500,000. They've had to reinstate him for his mental suffering. But it was just like that guy that they arrested. And what was his bail? Was it $2 million or $1 million? That poor dude.
The one that they arrested over the Post?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was $2 million.
It was $2 million.
He was in jail for something like 30 some odd days.
Yeah. And until Reason Magazine did a little thing on him, and then we started doing stuff, and then Matt and everybody else got on board, and the other people in the nation like, wait a minute, this guy who was a raging lefty posted something that Donald Trump had said, and there was some sort of confusion about a school in Iowa and the county that he lived in or whatever. It was so stupid. Like a lot of it is, because it's not meant to make you think. It's meant to get you to engage. And the greatest way of doing that is, I don't need to have a conversation reason with you. I don't need to, because it's just easier to make you mad. And that's where the rage bait comes in. And what he posted, was it awful? No, it wasn't. It wasn't awful. I mean, it's unfortunate, It's like if we said today, hey, we should take cars away from everybody, therefore we save some lives out there. I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous. But it's not meant to do anything other than that. And the same thing here goes for what happened it's a horrible thing that happened in Minneapolis. And if you're cheering it on, that's foolish. That's ridiculous. We should have better politicians and better people who have conversations about this stuff, which nobody wants to anymore because it's just not worth it. The algorithms say it's not. Being nice, being kind, having a conversation where there's so many times that I could do something so easy to piss people off. I mean, I piss you guys off sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. Every once in a while. But because it's easy to do. It's easy to outrage people in today's world. And it's easy but the problem is, at what point do you, I was talking to a woman earlier today, like I said, I'm going to play some of her stuff tomorrow. It was a really good interview. And we were talking about people we know in this industry who have decided, I don't want to reason with anybody. I'm just going to say crazy stuff and take the money. I'm going to say outrageous stuff and take the money. I'm like, ugh, it's hard. It's hard, And it's hard to and the other thing is it's hard just, to find people who are willing to go, hold on here. Maybe there's more to the story than this, which most people will never do. And that's part of the reason, we listened to that thing the other day from George Carlin, which was, if I got it, I may play it next, which I found to be fascinating about people who identify their politics so strong that they identify as that. And he was spot on, but as great as he was, he left something out. We're going to talk about that because I find it to be, again, very fascinating in this day of chaos and craziness where everything has to one-up each other and we all have to say something angry and hateful. I'm kind of like, remember Winnie the Pooh? I'm kind of like Tigger. I'm bouncy. I talk about real stuff, but I can't be negative all the time. I can't. And trust me, there's a lot to be negative about, but there's a lot to be happy about too. We live in such an amazing country. We got to start learning how to silence the insanity. Oh, we should put that down. That's a good name for a book. Maybe an album? All right, coming up. I'm going to play you some. Find it because I think it's worth playing and what George Carlin missed in that because it's interesting and it's true. Talk a little bit about that. Bunch of other stuff on the way. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997.
Identity is your ideology. Congratulations, you've officially screwed yourself because now it's not just an idea, now it's you. And when the idea gets challenged, you don't hear disagreement, you hear an attack. So what do? You build a bubble. A nice, soft, padded little bubble where everyone agrees with you, uses the same words, hates the same people, and claps at the exact right moments. And you will defend that bubble at all costs, even if it makes you sound incredibly stupid. Facts don't matter anymore. Logic's gone. Humor? Dead. Because admitting you're wrong would mean admitting you are wrong, and that's unacceptable. So you double down, louder, angrier, dumber. And that's how you end up defending nonsense like it's sacred scripture, not because it's true, but because without it, you'd have to actually develop a personality.
We played that on Friday, and the reason that's important, as some of you are mad because I didn't say some of the things you like, is the perfect right there. You didn't like, oh, he said something I disagree with, Bell. I got to go. I'm sorry. I got to go over to Sean Hannity because he's awesome.
Enough of this libtard.
Libtard. Why? Because I threw some out you didn't like. You're the same people who were out there defending, Ashley Babbitt. Well, it's different because no. Neither should have happened. This lady did something stupid. He thought what he was doing was right. So did the guy in the Capitol, the cop. People lost their lives. The problem with this, and he's spot on, right? Because I get it all the time from the identity people out there. That's all you think. This is who I am. I am red. I am blue. Nothing can breach me. And if you say something I disagree with on an issue, it is an attack on me and mine, which is so insane. Where he went wrong on this, though, is the people aren't trying to explain issues or have a conversation with the other side anymore. They want to hold things over people's heads so they can say, you were wrong. I was right. Because they, too, live in an identity bubble. They, too, live in a world where their identity is challenged. They don't like it. They take it personal. And that's just, it's not a way to be, man. That is not a way to be. It isn't. And some of you disagree. Well, I think this lady was trying to get shot, or I think, really? I mean, come on. You're a parent. Really? Many of you out there, you think that? No. Was it stupid? Absolutely. Did she pay the price for it? She did. But one of the other things I was talking about is the price at the ballot box. You don't like to hear the fact that the numbers have changed dramatically? You're going to go with the ostrich method of stick my head in the sand and we'll hope that everything works out in November? That's not going to help at all. If you're the Republicans, you need to start reframing this in a much different way. You do. If you want to hold on to what's happening, absolutely, you better figure out how to reframe it in a different way because the numbers aren't great. But we should be able to have a conversation. And nobody wants to because what they want to be is right. And that's just at all costs. I want to be right at all costs. I don't care. Have to be right. But everybody wants to throw a punch, but nobody wants the punch to come back. Which is be a great way to box because everybody be undefeated. The problem is, no, it's not that way. It's not. And this lady, again, what happened was horrible. And if you're cheering it on, that's insane. And I don't for a second think that this guy did this out of spite or malice because he wanted to shoot somebody. We can debate whether or not he needed to or not, but he felt he was in danger. So he did what he thought was right. Others out there don't look at it that way. And if you think she went out there to get killed, again, ridiculous. And there was no win in this. I don't know how anybody said this was a win for America. There's not. And politically, I don't think it's going to... The people that want immigration, everybody to be thrown out of here, you may cheer that on, but that's a small number of people who wanted tougher immigration, close the border, but not throw out everybody and not see Americans die on the street. And that's what you have to look at it from the perspective. It's like one of those things where I'm trying to win, right? If I'm advising the Republicans, I'm trying to get you over the line and hold on to the House. That's the thing that matters at this point in time. And the economy will say a lot about it, but there'll be other things as well. Absolutely. Coming up, some other good stuff on the way. A lot of other good stuff that we haven't talked about today. Maybe a little bit about the economy. How's it looking? Cooking? Maybe not cooking? Maybe slowing down? Maybe not slowing down? We'll talk a little bit about that. A bunch of other good stuff on the way. And, of course, Matt will be here probably 20 minutes or so. I saw him wandering around here. He's all dressed up. I'm the only one not dressed up. I'm the only one in shorts again today. And it's like 30 degrees outside. What? Chad Benson, Super Talk 997. A lot of you mad at me because you didn't like what I said, which is totally fine. I mean, I'm good with that. Because, A, you're going to come back because you're going to be like, ugh, the other guy's so boring on the other station. Because he is. He's not talking about sports and life and fun stuff, which is what we talk about. Fun stuff. like Fitbarrel and things of that nature. But the whole thing with last week's shooting is, let's just have an honest conversation. It's great. Some of you absolutely, she deserved it. 100%. Okay, that's great. I said look at it from the politics side of it. Okay? I was watching Mick Mulvaney, used to be the chief of staff under Trump. He says, I'm not here to talk about the legalities of it. I'm here to talk about the politics of it. And the politics is it's not looking good because people don't want to see how the sausage is made. People don't want to see guys dressed up on the streets in full fatigue outfits with face masks going up and down American streets. It doesn't make them happy. And we're talking about the independents here. 45% of Americans, they are independent. They would love a third party. That ain't happening. They would love a third party. But it isn't going to happen anytime soon. And not at the level that would need to happen. And so that's the frustration a lot of people feel. Again, I'm not here to debate whether she did or didn't any of those things. I'm here to debate the reality of what comes in November if you look up and you think, oh, now 79% of Americans say, yeah, immigration's good. 79% of Americans do? Okay, well, if you've got that going on, again, get out of the bubble, get out of the area that you're in. All my friends, we want everybody gone. That's fine, but what does everybody else think? That should be a big deal because the Democrats are a waste of time. Why is that? They did basically, they go and they do this full big giant report about why they failed. Why did we fail? And then they didn't release it. They didn't release it to their own staff because they know why they failed.
When your identity...
Oh, here we go. We're going to go here to the Dems.
A recent study from an organization that seeks to get Democrats elected found that 70% of voters believe the Democratic Party is out of touch with average Americans. Based on interviews with 500,000 voters, the study concluded that the Democrats are too focused on symbolic issues divorced from the struggles of daily life, things that the wealthy care about, like climate change and voting rights, race relations, and guns, totally ignoring the concerns of working-class Americans who care more about things like border security, immigration, terrorism, crime, drug addiction, and gas prices.
They care about affordability. That's the thing. The Democrats fail because they want to have this narrow lane where they pick obscure, bizarre things to hyper-focus on and groups that they feel have been completely... these people are under the boot of the Republicans and the man, and we've got to protect them. And that's all they do. And they don't do anything else. They don't focus on what the average person thinks. They don't focus on, okay, what is the average person thinking? Well, you know what? Got some bills due. Maybe this week I can push my phone bill off a week, and that way I can have enough money for, gas and groceries. Maybe I won't have to get a second job. Maybe I will have to get a second job. That's what people are thinking about. And they go and think about stuff that's ridiculous. And they fight everything. And when you don't, when Trump goes away, because he will go away. For those of you out there, he's not going to live forever. I know some of you think that. Bell's laughing. The reality is they don't have a platform outside of I hate Trump. That's not a good platform. That doesn't put money, in your pocket, which the government's not supposed to do, but it's more about taking less money out of your pocket and spending it wisely. They have nothing because their entire identity is kind of like what the Republicans have come. Their identity is Trump. And the Democrats' identity is anti-Trump. That's the only reason. I mean, either of these parties spoke for a vast majority of the people, they would run away with it forever. But they don't. And they're two sides of the same coin. And it's frustrating as hell. It is. And I hear from you guys. You know, it's like, well, the polls, Chad, you said the polls have been wrong. Polls have been wrong before. But a vast majority of times, polls are pretty close and pretty right. They are. Much closer than I think people realize, especially Trump is an anomaly in every way, shape, or form. Because the first time the polls were out, people were afraid to talk about Trump when Trump first ran. Unless, and there was that interesting study, it was one of those automated ones where you didn't talk to a human, but they always felt like you were going to be judged if you say you were voting for Trump. So the polls were wrong. But while Trump's on the ballot, the Republicans are on the ballot too. And at the end of the day, it's still going to be about the economy, right? If the economy's good, then things will be good for the Republicans. If the economy's bad or the economy slows down, then it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. I mean, we were just talking about Iran earlier. That's their uprising is the economy. Kids are broke AF over there. They got nothing. They don't have any freedoms. So imagine being broke. You got no money. You got no upward opportunity at mobility. And 70, 80-year-olds are running your world based on their take of religious text to crush any of your freedoms. You'd lose your mind too. I'd be out there all day protesting because you got nothing else going on. Love hearing from all of you. I do. Ideology. A lot of you, because we were playing that thing about the ideology, with George Carlin. And ideology, again, I've never been that way. I've never been that, been so into my ideology in politics where it's like, I tell everybody, you know what it reminds me of? Have you ever argued with somebody and they made it personal, right? Even if you know you're absolutely wrong, but they say something and they make it personal. And then you're like, I'm digging my heels in. And it could be your wife or your husband or your brother or sister or your mom or dad, and you're arguing and they say something they make it so personal, they might as well have kicked you in the grundle. And then you go, well, yeah, I know I'm wrong, but I'm going to fight this now. And that's what's happened. So somebody said, Chad, I hope they're being nice to you. It's tough to hold up a mirror sometimes. I don't want to legitimately important conservative values to be irritated by association for the next 50 years. Look, this is just it's a different situation with, the identity thing and holding things. I'm not, I always tell everybody, when you try to have a conversation in the world that I come from, because a lot of people tune in, they want affirmation, right? We always talk about we're information, we're a lot of fun, we're not really into, But it's not to scold anybody. If I'm wrong, hell, I'll be wrong a whole bunch. I'm a human being. Absolutely, I'm a human being. I'll be wrong. Continue to be wrong.
That's why I'm here, is to balance it out and always be right.
Always be right. That's right. That's Bell. Always right. He's Beltanica. He's always being right. It's the beauty of it. But I want the conversation. That's why I like text, because we talk about 50 gazillion things. As we have today. Football, the crazy parking thing. Just be careful when you go out and park in Nashville, anywhere. Anywhere there's a QR code, just be careful. But we need to have this.
And when you put the QR code in and get to the website, double check it to make sure it's not going to automatically sign you up for a streaming service you don't want.
Yes. Somebody texted earlier and said that they went to downtown during a concert, did one of the QR codes to park. Then they got their bill later on, and it wasn't a bill for parking. It was a streaming service that they had signed them up for. That's crazy. Again, your opinion. You can get 100 different polls from 100 different results from polling places. Yes, Stephen, you can. You absolutely can. You can 100% get 100 different.
I've worked in research, and you can manipulate any poll you want to simply by the way you formulate the questions and who you ask them to.
Yeah. That's why I don't look at anybody other than independents. Because at the end of the day, if 45% of us are independents, those are the people that are going to get you across the line. Some may lean a little left, some may lean a little bit more right, but they're the ones who are going to get you across the line. And that's why I say throw out anything the Republicans and Democrats think about anything and look at the independents. If you do that, you find out it's a much easier opportunity to get a feel of what's going on because those are the exhausted majority. Most of you listening aren't hardcore, super duper right. You have a few of those. And some of you are liberal. You're not uber progressive nut jobs because they're out there. And the thing is, both the right and the left want to do one thing when they use the algorithms. It's to show the worst possible side of the other side. If it's a MAGA person, it's got the hat on, he might as well be wearing a hoodie, right? Or might as well be wearing one of the white robes. That's what they want to show you with two teeth because that's what they want to show you. And if it's the left that the right's trying to show you, it's a purple, transgender, half wannabe werewolf, half dragon who identifies also as a wizard and thinks that everybody should get free housing. And then you get enraged because that's what it is. It's nut picking. We got to be smarter. We do.
And free tuition to Hogwarts.
Free tuition to Hogwarts. I wonder what Hogwarts cost. I remember watching it and I think to myself,
your youth.
Yeah, your youth. It's it. Hogwarts. Goodness me. What do you think? Like 10, 15,000 a semester?
Well, it'd be in pounds, so.
Euros? It's about 20,000. Do you think they come out of Hogwarts and they owe money forever? They're always bitching about it.
And then they just take their wand.
But they're not allowed to. That's part of the contract they signed. They're not just like Jeannie wasn't allowed to do her thing.
Oh, that was just him being impressive.
He was impressive, wasn't he? So, Paul Lynn would have got a hold of her. They'd have been all over the party and all the time doing stuff. Oh, yeah. All the time. All right, we're going to wrap it up straight ahead. Chad Benson Show. Super Top. Little wire. What is up, everybody, on this beautiful Monday? He's wearing a sweater because it's chilly outside.
It's cold out there today, boys.
It is.
Cold out there.
It is very cold. We're expecting snow, I hear. So what the weather wizard said.
I don't believe it. It sounds like one of these it's going to, and then it doesn't. We all get our hopes up, and we become 12-year-old kids, and then nothing ever happens, and then Ken's laughing. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, he told me Wednesday overnight, but he said as they were talking about, even if it's a flake or two, that's snow. Doesn't mean
that's not snow.
That is snow, Brother Murphy.
Flake or two.
See?
Flake is snow.
That's spoken like a man who doesn't want to see snow.
You got that right.
You know where it's going to snow?
Where?
On the plateau.
Oh, snowing on the plateau.
It always happens on the plateau first if it's cold.
It's going to be
weather related.
It's hard because the TikTok weather folks who do a really good job, and a lot of them are actual meteorologists and other things, but you've got those independent people. They're thinking we're going to get some. I'm like you, skeptical.
Skeptical. I feel like I have to see a rolling meadow on the hills of Tennessee that's white in order for me to consider it a snow. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. I don't need a 3 inches, but a dusting. We need a dusting for it to count as a snow.
Yeah, not looks like it's coming down, but it never really hits the ground because it fades away.
That's flurries.
Yeah.
That's flurries.
And that's fine by me.
That's not a snow.
And that's fine by me.
I bet it is, Ken. What's the most snow you ever saw, Ken?
The most snow I've ever seen was a foot of snow.
I saw a foot of snow in Connecticut, in Bristol, Connecticut.
I bet you did.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you drive by the ESPN people? You guys are living a good life.
Snow, yeah, I know. On the way to the car dealership. where I was the new guy, so I had to shovel the cars and do all that crap.
Did they cut your tie when you got your first sale?
That was great. I never got my first sale. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? They trained me. When I got done with my draw, I quit.
Smart.
That's smart. That was not very. It was poor planning on my part, but. Yeah, so I know I think it snowed like 88 inches that year in Connecticut. It was insane. It was like the most snow they'd ever had and ever.
Who lives here?
I know. Why would you live here?
Why did you go there?
No wonder all of you people are awful. Because, I had my first wife, and I met in college, and she was
Not the one that tried to stab you, right?
No. That was just a girlfriend. So, no, Lee was the girl that I was.
So,
anyway.
So wait. So she became the evil. You're like, I wish I would have stayed with the stabber girl.
It probably would have turned out better. No, I think it turned out well. So, so we decided to move to Connecticut where we knew nobody else. And that was not a very smart move.
Huh? Relationship
How'd
tips?
you pick Connecticut, though?
Well, my buddy, my best friend Wayne was going to graduate school at UConn in stores. But we picked a place that was an hour and a half away, so that it might as well have been 20 hours away. But
Man, Connecticut, though, that's like a
little bitty state. Little bit, not the littlest, but it's close.
It's tiny.
Little teeny state.
little tiny guy.
Oh, yeah. And, manner of rich people.
Yeah, there's
on
a
the
lot.
coast. Oh, my gosh.
There's a lot of folk that live there that's got a few dollar bills,
Oh, absolutely.
coming up from New York.
Yeah, all the rich New Yorkers that don't want to pay New York taxes.
Right. And they have somebody to drive for them.
That's it. That's a
Just
beautiful thing.
drive up a thoroughfare, and there they go in Connecticut. They either go Long Island or Connecticut. So, what's in the news today? I've been out of the loop. Anything? Anything good?
I don't know. We talked about a little immigration, but mostly we talked about football, the insanity of this weekend. That was great. Football.
The NFL was pretty good this weekend.
It was
I
very
will-
good.
I will give it a lot of
Indiana's
credit.
a real team. We're talking about that.
Indiana is going to, in my opinion, destroy Miami. I mean, you got to play the games, I suppose, but I
You
don't
want
know.
that to happen because you hate their quarterback.
I mean,
with
well,
a passion.
Carson Beck's what idiot.
He's an idiot.
Lamborghini.
We talked to the Lamborghini.
Stupid
Never going to get over the Lamborghini.
He's also been in college 7 years.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to be in college 7 years.
Yeah.
College. I mean, it's not even college anymore.
What did I see the other day? Somebody said something about Beck where one of the guys he's throwing to was like in 7th grade when he was in his freshman year or something.
I mean, it's insane. So I've been referring to the Indiana Hoosiers as the Indiana Cubans.
Yes.
And no one's talking about this aspect of the Indiana run. And I understand Signetti's a good coach.
Yeah.
But I also understand that Mark Cuban is spending millions and millions of dollars putting in an NIL, which, I mean, so now all you've got to do is find a really rich benefactor that really likes the team that you root for, and you can get yourself a national championship.
Who's
team.
Georgia's biggest benefactor?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Tennessee, who's theirs? You had Pickens out there. Was the name right? Boone Pickens or whatever out there.
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. You got Nike.
Man, they would be national champion if T. Boone Pickens was still alive.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because he was not allowed to give, but only so much, and he couldn't give directly to the players or whatever.
Yeah.
Now that it's above board,
Yeah.
they'd be natty champions
Every year.
every year.
All of them get their own oil wells.
Big old cowboy hats.
Matt, straight ahead, he's got something to talk about. We're not quite sure, but I bet it's awesome. Bye.